Hello there guys, Feng here, and welcome to Plague Inc. Evolved. Okay, so this game is by Ndemic Creations. That's an endemic without the E. Bit of weird, but it's got a ring to it. And it's a strategy game. It's a extremely weird strategy game. You basically play a disease, and it's your job to infect every single human on the planet and kill them. Yeah, doesn't bring up any moral issues whatsoever. Needless to say, it is very fun to do that. Very fun indeed. Now, this game was originally on Android, tablets, etc., etc. In fact, it's got it on here. The original Plague Inc. game is available for mobile and tablet. Yeah, there you go. So, now, obviously, when you think of that, it's like, oh god, it's a bloody another port of those games, blah 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 blah. And let's face it, most of the iOS ports are shit. Well, I can pleasantly say that this is not the case here. Now, this is in early access at the moment, so it's not quite finished. Not quite finished, but it is still in an extremely fun and playable state. So, as you can see, we're in version 0.7.1.a. How to play, it does give you a slight tutorial here, although obviously I'll show you as we play the game. There was a tutorial as well if we just quickly go to single player. Yeah, there's actually a tutorial, but it doesn't work because it's in early access still. Oh well. There is multiplayer planned, which I'm presumed doesn't work still either. But yeah, multiplayer's planned as well, which is really cool. And as you can see, it's actually got Twitter and Facebook integration, which I don't really care about. Okay, so there's a few things, right? There's the main game, where you play any one of the diseases and try and take over the world, infect the world, and then kill them. Yay. You can do a speedrun, which is kind of cool. And there's also official scenarios, which actually experiments with real-life diseases, which is really cool, by the way. I don't know if that was in the... whether that was in the Android version or the OS version or whatever. But that's cool that you can actually do that, and of course there is going to be custom scenarios and tutorial, but it's not in yet. So let's play the game. That sounds like a good idea. So when you first start, you will only have bacteria to choose from. Now I've probably played this about 4 or 5 hours so far. I played it last night when I picked it up, and I couldn't put it down. It's surprisingly addictive, very addictive. But yeah, so we're going to start with bacteria, which is the most common cause of plague. It has unlimited potential. Now, as you can see, there's an awful lot more, and I'm going to presume that they're probably going to add more as the versions come out as well, but we'll see. So, you can now modify the genetic code. Now, when you first start, you won't have any access to this, but as you unlock stuff, you'll be able to get some genes. So this one, for example, gives you bonus DNA at the beginning, and we'll talk about these as we crack on. So I'm going to pick Darwinist theory. Yeah, let's pick that. The Darwinist gene, which increases the chance of your plague mutating. A very cool one indeed. And we also have Terracyte, which increases the chance of plague spreading by land. You're probably wondering, what the fuck is all this? And you know, I don't know ever because I haven't unlocked it yet. But we'll see. Okie dokie. So there are 4 difficulties. There's casual, which I suppose is fun, but it's casual. Nah. We'll probably be playing normal. And as you can see here, 67.3% of people wash their hands, doctors work 3 days a week, and sick people get ignored and whatever. Brutal, which is hard, and mega brutal, which is kind of trollololol. Okay. So we need to name our plague. Let's call it the F3NG. There we go. The F3NG plague. Okay, so your new bacteria. To win, you must evolve and spread across the world, wiping out all humans in the ultimate plague. Welcome. This is the green screen. You'll be staring at this for pretty much the whole game. Yep. I don't want to make it sound boring, and it's not. It does get really interesting. So the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out which continent we want to start spreading our disease on. So there's some decent choices. And I'm actually going to talk about some of the UI elements while we're here. So as you can see, we've got the world here. The population is 6.8 billion. Now, I'm pretty sure it's more than that now, but it's fine. It doesn't have to be that realistic. It's fine. So you might notice that there's a few symbols here. We've got the airports and the docks, which is really cool. So this is the idea of the game, right? You infect one country, and then obviously it's going to start spreading. Now, how it spreads is determined by how you evolve. So, for example, maybe we want to evolve so that it's easy for a disease to be carried via the wind, via airports. So you can do it like that. There's also roads, but obviously it doesn't show you on the map where roads are. It's pretty obvious the roads are going to be linked in between these countries and whatnot. So you know it's fine. But it's really interesting too, because when you first pick a country, that is a major difference between whether you succeed or whether you fail. Because there's a few things you can do, right? For example, India, right? India's got access to roads, ports and airports. So this is actually a really nice ideal location for your first kind of lethal injection. Because it can spread very easily via roads, via sea or via air. But there's also another thing you need to consider. Some of these countries are very hard to actually reach. So as you can see, Greenland up here can only be reached by sea. It does say roads there, but it can only be reached by sea. Same with here, the Caribbean, for example. And some can only be reached by airports, although that one's not one of them. But most of the unreachable ones can only be really reached by sea. So starting there is a decent idea as well, because it's going to be more likely that you're going to be able to obviously infect the other countries easier. But for now, we're going to go with India. So let's do that. Okay, so we've infected our first little thing, right? Okay, so the F3NG has infected its first human. Weak and used to hot temperatures, it must evolve using DNA points to infect more people. And this is probably the most interesting bit of the game. How you evolve your disease to accommodate to what's going on around the world. Okay, so in very iOS fashion, you can click these bubbles. Now, these bubbles will usually give you DNA points. So if we have a quick look at the DNA screen, this is us. Yay, we're Feng, F3NG. We're a little microorganism in something. And there's our traits that we took earlier on. And you'll see a nice lot of information displayed in graphs, which is really nice. You can actually see like the infectivity, the severity, and the lethality. Now, the interesting thing about this is probably the way you evolve. So as you can see, this is the transmission. Now this is how your disease travels. So as you can see, we can, for example, we'll probably pick this one straight away actually. Blood 1, it gives the organism the ability to spread through blood-to-blood contact, increases infectivity, especially in poor regions and mutation chance. So obviously India is a fairly poor region, so that seems like a good choice. Mutation chance is also really nice, and we'll go further in a bit. So symptoms, this is what the virus actually does, or what the disease actually does. So as you can see, there's quite a few paths, and as you unlock more, these hexagons will actually start spreading more, which is really nice. You've got a lot of choice in this. And as you can see, so for example, nausea, irritated stomach lining leads to discomfort, and also as a nice bonus, there's a slight chance of infection when kissing. Disease in red blood cells or hemoglobin in the blood can lead to exphilia in the organs, which is nice. Exphilia, well, I fox you, whatever. You know I can't pronounce some of these words. Shut up. But yeah, that's really cool. There's all this stuff. And also the abilities. Now this is your ability to protect against certain stuff. So for example, bacterial resilience, create bacterial shell to protect against all climates. Now each individual disease has slightly different trees, and some diseases have completely new trees, which is really nice. So each individual disease is unique, which is really cool. So what we're going to do now, I'm not going to bother with some symptoms at the moment. I want to concentrate on getting my infectivity up. So the main aim of the game is to obviously infect everyone and kill everyone, but you need to be careful how you go about doing it. So we need to infect everyone first, really, before we kill them. We can do it kind of at the same time. That's not a big deal. But if we kill everyone who's infected before everyone gets infected, then you actually lose the game, because you haven't been able to wipe out the entire human race. You've only been able to wipe out a certain bit of it. So it's more important to try and get this disease everywhere as quickly as possible, possibly. So yeah. So let's carry on. There is a few different speeds. Yeah, we've successfully evolved. Oh no. So you can go normal speed, which is kind of slow. This speed, which is my preferred speed. It still gives you time to click on stuff like the DNA points here. So these will appear randomly, and you'll just get disease points. Very iOS touchscreen fashion. Feng is spreading from person to person in India and will go exponentially. You control the plague indirectly by evolving it. Of course you do. That's kind of the deal of it. So if we actually click on the country, we can actually see a lot more stats here. So I'm just going to quickly pause it again. So as you can see, this is the total amount of population in India. So there's 1.3 billion. That's a lot. That's one of the reasons why I've actually picked this particular country to infect, because this is basically where 1/6 of the population is in India. There's also China, which is right next door, and they have pretty much the same amount of population. So those are really ideal to try and infect first. So as you can see, they're still 100% healthy. There's not really many infected. We've only got 33 infected so far. Now you might be thinking, what's all this cure and stuff? Well, yeah, that's the kind of thing about the human race. We never quit. If we are dying of stuff, of disease and stuff and whatnot, then our scientists are going to try and prevent that. And that's kind of what this game is kind of about. This is the second factor. You need to try and kill everyone before there's a cure research for it. And that can be difficult. That can be very difficult. But you can evolve in ways which will either prevent or slow it down. So that's kind of the great thing about the game. So let's continue. Well, speeds up a little bit. We've actually got a few more DNA points. So what can we invest in here? So we invest in that. We should probably start thinking about investing in water and air transmission. So Phagon can survive outside the body in fresh, warm water, increasing infectivity, especially in humid environments and ship transmissions. So we're going to go with that one, and then I'll probably go with the air one after that. So we're actually increasing our transmission rate to across the globe. That's the idea. And you can zoom in and out. It's pretty cool. Although I like to see what's going on. And that's actually a nice. I love how the game displays this information. You see these planes and boats. Well, these won't always be white. If the infection's actually on that particular boat or plane, it will actually show you in red that it's going to go over to somewhere else and infect it, which is really cool. A recent fluctuation in the Earth's magnetic field is claimed by scientists to be strong enough to be harnessed by New Zealand as a source of power. Now, these news bulletins can actually be really useful. Sometimes they'll tell you stuff like, for example, there's a load of birds emigrating. Now, obviously, that's good for you, because if you've actually got this particular trait, then what will happen is that the birds will actually infect more places, which is really cool. But then you might have other things like the cattle. Cattle are being exported or imported. They're trying to minimise it, so that will actually harm you if you've actually got this particular trait. So that's pretty cool how the random events kind of work like that. Sorry, I've got a bit of a phlegm. Oh, I'm coming down with something. Anyway. So yeah, we're going to take bird. I'm actually going to increase that. That will actually increase the infection rate inside the infection zones and as well as outside, because it'll travel by air, but it'll be road based. So yeah. Latest research shows that cold countries are getting significantly colder due to global warming. Now that is interesting, because what we'll need to do then is we'll need to try and invest in cold resistance, because obviously the cold is going to be affecting the disease more now. And this is an example of the mutation. So the great thing about the random mutation is that you do get randomized symptoms. So as you can see, Feng's mutated and developed the insomnia symptom using DNA. Now obviously this is great because it's basically 3 traits, which is really superb. But it can be a bad thing. So what you have to think about here, you've got 3 bars here, right? You've got the infectivity, the severity, and the lethality, whatever, right? Now, if people start dying because of the disease, then scientists are going to try and cure it. But if the severity is high as well, then scientists are going to recognise it and going to try and cure it. But they're not going to be. It's not going to be as rushed as if it's going to be killing people. So, what you want to try and do is you want to try and infect as many countries as you can before doctors notice that it's actually a disease. So sometimes the random mutation can be a bad thing because you don't want to be killing people very early on. So yeah, that's just something to. I'm going to actually keep that as it is. You know, you can devolve, which refunds your DNA points. In fact, every disease does that except for one that I know of, which actually costs you money. It costs you DNA points to actually devolve them. And we'll probably go through that in the next video. So yeah, we're going to keep that as it is, and we're going to see what goes on. So we now know that the cold is going to get colder, so we're going to start investing in cold resistance. Now in fact, we could do that, or we could invest in this one, which is this one is actually the unique trait of this particular disease. It's actually got a bacterial resilience, so we're going to invest in this one instead, and this will cover basically all climates, which is really nice. Okay, more DNA points, brilliant. So I'm probably just gonna ramp this up a little bit more. Okay, so South Asia has become infected. So here we go. This is the first country we managed to actually infect. And another one, brilliant. Jesus Christ. Okay, so China's infecting now, and as you can see, this will escalate pretty quickly, especially if you've got the right traits. So, we actually managed to travel it over to Australia, which is absolutely superb. So, Feng is infecting more people in the world, and TB is it is a very infectious disease. Okay, and we've got some more points to spend. So, what should we spend it on now? Don't we want to spend it on symptoms? I don't see the point in spending it on symptoms so early when we can get them free by mutations. I'd rather spend them on other things that will actually increase the infectivity. For example, the air. So let's do that. That'll do. Oh my god, now it's infesting. Is that Egypt? Am I right? Yeah, it's Egypt. My geography ain't that bad, but it's a good over. See, I don't know what that is. That's New Guinea. There you go. I didn't know what that is. Oh, we've infected the UK. Oh no. That's where I live. Okay. Heavy flooding has occurred in Canada. RMS analysts warn of severe damage to national biotech industry and research facilities. This is actually a beneficial factor for us because if it's not just yet, but if scientists were researching in Canada, then they would be delayed. Simple as that. And we're infecting a lot now. Now, obviously, as more and more countries get infected, you do need to check up on the world map, which shows you what's been infected. In fact, you've got a little breakdown here of what's already been infected and what's still healthy, or what's completely dead, which is really nice as well. Now, judging by so in a normal checkup, a doctor in India found a new disease which has been named Feng. It appears to be mostly harmless, but must be investigated further. Other countries are also reporting this disease. Oh dear. So this is the point where they might try and work into a cure. So here we go. India is now the first to instruct doctors to begin research on a cure for Feng. Without greater funding, it is expected to take a long time. Good. Now let's invest in some more DNA points. I didn't realise we'd still got so many. So I'm going to crack on. Maybe we should. I don't know. What abilities we got? We might want to invest in drug resistance. The great thing about this is that we'll be able to infect the more wealthy countries easier, because obviously antibiotics will kill us. So if we invest in that, then that'll be even better. And you can also invest in a genetic hardening, which makes it so it's harder to analyze for scientists. So it's going to, it decreases future research speed. So let's do that, especially since now there's a good chance there might be a cure coming soon. So we'll definitely do that. Feng has mutated and developed the RAS symptom without using DNA points. Groovy! Okay, oh my god, now we're infecting everywhere. This is great. Let's just slow it down a wee bit. There we go. Excellent. We are actually, it's like the domino effect. Once one place is gone, then they're just gonna keep following. Really cool. I don't know if I want to invest any more in these. I mean, it looks like it's been transmission really well overseas and stuff. So I might just concentrate on more mutation chance and land-based transmission. That would be a decent idea. What we're going to do with abilities? Oh yeah, we need the cold resistance. Actually, I'll just invest in this one instead. There we go. Okay, so now what I'm a little bit worried about now is that countries might start ceasing routes. Now what I mean by that is they might start they might start closing ports and airports. Now if that's the case, then you're not going to be able to get your infection over there. Now that's especially important when it comes to places like Greenland and Caribbean, which is very hard to actually infect to begin with. So I'm hoping that we don't develop any more lethal symptoms. I mean, these base ones are usually okay. They don't really cause deaths. They only cause basically the disease to spread a bit more with a few, signs that it exists. So there you go. We've actually infected 1.3 billion. That's a lot. It's not the whole world, but it's getting there. It's increasing. Severe storms strike heavily populated areas in Botswana. RMS enlists warn of crop and property damage. Oh dear. It's a good job I'm a disease and not a human. Otherwise I'd be really depressed about that. Right. Maybe we can... I might actually just go with blood 2 on this. Poor regions and mutation chance. As you can see, each individual trait does give you different things. So obviously this particular one, the rodent one, increases infectivity, especially in urban regions, and obviously greater mutation. I think that's actually a typo that it says a mutation, because obviously if you look at this one, this one here, it says mutation chance, increasing mutation chance. Oh yeah, increasing. Okay, whatever. That just seems like a bit of poor. Whatever. Just ignore me. It's okay. I'll forgive you. Okay, so we might go with genetic reshuffle now. So this will actually make the DNA strands very hard to actually research. So that'll give us more time. Now, if we actually have a look at there's only really India that's really bothered about research, and as you can see, it's going to take 58,000 days. So yeah, you've actually got an ETA time as well on it, so it's not going to be researched until 2174. Consider it's 2015, I think we're okay. Feng has mutated and developed the coughing symptom. Now, is that the secondary one, or is that the... No, that's the primary one, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Okay, now let's have a look here about the world's infected. So as you can see, we've basically covered most of this, which is great. We've got the USA, that will spread north and south eventually. We're still missing some of these islands though, and that's worrying, because we might actually fail this if we don't actually hit those islands. So I think we might want to, well, first of all, pick that DNA up. There we go. Let's pick those up. Let me see if I can invest in... Oh dear. I'll do the water one, since most of the other ones are sea ones, sea-based. Oh, I can do it now. Brilliant. There we go. Okay, so Feng is infecting more people in the world than the common cold. It is the ultimate infectious disease. Yeah, screw you, common cold. I'm stuck with a bloody cold, as you can probably tell. Okay, charities are holding a Feng awareness day to raise the profiles of this disease and encourage development of a cure. No, go away. We don't want you to develop a cure. We want you to die. Yeah. But anyway. I'm just debating what to do now. I think I might invest in... No, I think what we'll do is we'll invest in rodents. There we go. Now, the only time we've really got to worry about now is if we develop a secondary symptom. That's when people might start dying. Now, you can see that there's already 725 dead. But, hang on. Feng has been placed on the RMS watch list. Although not very dangerous, governments warn that a more deadly strain could appear. So yeah, it's not very lethal at all. In fact, most of these are probably died due to natural causes rather than the disease itself, but I don't know. Mexico has started to send research teams to infected countries, hoping to speed up the development. Oh, we've got to stop that somehow. Okay, so here we go. This is the other parts of the game where you need to be careful now. So blue cure bubbles appear when the research team from Mexico finds something. Pop them to destroy the research and stop the curing speed up. And this will start happening a lot now. So obviously they want to try and get this cure sorted. And yeah. So Mexico has been the first to try and stop people from going in. And that's bad news because we still need to infect Iceland. And the Caribbean's infected. Oh, let's actually have a look. Okay, now this is really good news. All we need now is Iceland and Greenland, sorry, and Norway. Brilliant. It's only a class 1 biohazard as of yet as well, so that's good. Although it's not going to take very long to do that at all. Especially if it gets more severe. We've actually got 60. We've got 77 bloody points here that we need to invest in. Just thinking what we should do. I'm gonna probably. I don't know if we should. I don't know. Pause it 2 seconds. Okay. There is hotkeys for the game as well, but I haven't really got around to using them yet, except for space to pause, which I didn't do then. Yeah, Canada's only really just been hit. So as you can see as well, obviously it does tell you how much is infected, and Canada's got quite a few, hasn't it? Yeah, it's got 34 million. It's actually not that a lot, but they're helping the research funding as well, which is great. And they've got quite a lot of research facilities. Brazil's completely infected. Most of the places are completely infected. What was that one then? Sudan? No. Egypt? Wow. Oh. That's the world, isn't it? That's why. I just need to get that bloody done. Come on. Don't close your port, because if you close your port, we're basically not going to make it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Please. I've actually got an awful lot of points as well, which I should really be investing in. Let me invest in rodent. And maybe even insect. No. That one. There we go. Don't know if I'm going to bother with water. Abilities. I'm going to try and slow the process down. There we go. So that should drastically slow them down. 12%, 10%. So they've gone back a bit, and it's going to take a lot longer to do. And that gives us more time to try and infect bloody Iceland. Not Iceland, Greenland, which is what we need. Come on. Mystery still surrounds the decision to postpone the London Olympics. Organisers promise it will happen soon, but no reason has been given for the change. I wonder why. Hint, hint, Feng, hint, hint. Has that one been infected now? Yes, Norway's been infected. So it is literally just Greenland. So we need one of these lovely shiny boats to turn red and travel over there. That's all we need. And how is the... Right, the infection is not spreading in cold climates. So we need to do something about that. I think we will take the cold resistance one now, although that's going to be very expensive. As you probably noticed, the cost of these, depending on what tree you're using, does get increasingly more expensive. So you definitely got to think about what you're spending it on. But we need to try and get this really covered now. So there we go. We should start seeing improvements straight away. Yes, we've infected everywhere. Yes. Scientists are struggling to understand the extraordinary mutation patterns of Feng. Oh yes, and they've set back. Yes. So as you can see, it's at 20% now, so it's not quite worrying just yet. But we haven't actually got any death symptoms yet, so that's something to really worry about. We need to start focusing on killing people as a morally profound that sounds, but yeah, we're gonna. So pulmonary fibrosis, scar in the lungs causes shortness of breath, and extreme coughing can be fatal when combined with intense exercise or immune suppression. That sounds more potent, so let's go with that. Now we need to be careful. We don't want to be killing people that are in these countries just yet, because they need to be infecting all the others yet, and I might have accidentally done it too early. Oh god, please don't. If that starts going down, we're in trouble. Feng is mutated and developed the anemia symptom. Which one's that one now? Is that one? Where's the anemia? I've actually forgot where that is. Oh, that's it. Decreasing the weight. Yeah, that's the one I talked about earlier on. Yeah, we need that to spread very quickly, and I think maybe we should probably invest in the second cold resistance, although I'm not too sure. It's very slow, and I don't want to be killing the people that are already infected, and that's already what's going on. As you can see here, the world, and there's a very small percentage that are dead from it, and the cure is quite close as well, so we need to be careful. Obviously, by killing people, you do tend to kill the scientists that are working on it, so naturally, even it actually says there, Feng needs to evolve to kill now. And you know, that's a great idea, but we need to infect the other places first before we go about doing that, especially these Icelandy areas. Oh wow, that shot up a little bit. Come on. We might actually fail this, and I don't want to. I don't want to. Just thinking maybe we should just, I would have thought that would give me... Yeah, it does actually increase the survivability in more clients, but it's just not transmitting enough. I would have thought that would give it a big boost. I don't know. That is actually, if there's one thing I do have a complaint against at the moment, is it doesn't show you whether these particular kind of contents have any life on them. No, I don't mean human life. I mean like the amount of insects and rodents and pests and cattle and stuff like that. Doesn't really tell you that, which is a bit unfortunate, so you kind of have to guess. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty solid. No, you're not going to... Okay, it's at 50%. Now we're getting a little bit desperate. Yeah, we really need to... Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually devolve some of these, because these ones aren't needed no more. We've already managed to cover the whole world. Now we need to actually cover what's inside of those continents. Yeah, continents, countries, whatever. But we do need to try and... We need more... Hang on, let's... Right, that's not climates, that's no good. Let's do that one. It might help, although I have a feeling it won't. Research doctors are all around there are completely focused on developing a cure for Feng. Oh yeah. Oh no. That's going to be done in 6 months. And we don't really have any more research to... Well, we don't have a way to evolve to stop. Well, we do, but it's very expensive. Oh boy. We're worse than the Black Death, apparently. Oh, come on. Greenland and Iceland. Oh, they're actually going down. Oh, dear. We probably should have invested a bit more in cold immunities. In the attempt to slow Feng, Canada has bombed areas with infection. And killed them, by the way. But yeah. 75% soon. Yeah, this isn't looking good. We're not infected enough, and I haven't got the DNA to be able to sort that out either. Damn it! I think what I might do next time is infect Greenland. That might be a good idea. Come on. I was hoping the mutations would be a lot more better as well, but they're not. They've been pretty slow. Still, it's 3 points at the end of the day when you mutate, so that's not a bad thing. Oh, it exterminates all birds. Well, yeah, that's not a good thing either. Argentina starts exterminating all rodents. So yeah, basically anything that would carry. New statistics show that Feng has killed over 120 million people. That's not very impressive. And we don't actually have enough DNA to even do some of the more dangerous stuff. That's unfortunate. I suppose we could devolve some of these ones that aren't really helping. There we go, devolve. I think I might have accidentally evolved that by accident. Oops. Well done, Feng. Fail. Right, let's devolve that one and devolve that one. Is that going to give us enough points? Probably not. No. I can't understand why it hasn't spread it out that much though. I mean, the shell, the bacterial shell should be a lot more resilient than what it is. I don't know. And yeah, there's going to be a cure. This is actually probably the easiest way to lose the game. Is via the cure method. We've got no way to battle it, so it may as well just be done. Did I tell you this game is bloody tough? Yeah, might have forgot to mention that. So yeah, we found the first disease, which is brilliant. And here we go. Everyone's being cured, and Feng managed to kill what? 4.1 million. That is lackluster. Lackluster at best. No, that's just in Canada. Sorry. Okay. So 184 million. That is still lackluster. And Feng has been eradicated. Bollocks. Good job, humans. Good job. Total score 42. Oh dear. Okay then, guys. So that's just that was probably a long video as well. So yeah, I'm probably going to actually do a carry on this as a little series. So I'm really enjoying the game at the moment. It's a blast. Alright then, guys, I'll see you later.